Hey guys, Jeff here, Dice Setters. Notice the tattoo and the jersey I'm wearing. You talked about rooting for the underdog this year. Yeah, rooting for the underdog, and we made it. We made it to the World Series. Um, just incredible. If you ever go to my shop, inside my shop, I bought a World Series Diamondbacks 2001 LED, and I paid very little for it because it was broken. They fixed it, and then after the third or fourth day, then the ballast went out on it. So I have not yet fixed that, but definitely I'm going to sit there and get that fixed, and hopefully I'll be able to purchase a second one that will say winner as well, because that'd be the second time. Um, I was tagged in this video. Well, I wasn't really tagged. A person I play craps with said, "Jeff, check this out," and so I did. This is I'm going to demonstrate to you a video that came out I think 2 days ago or one day ago. And I most time don't do this. In fact, I don't do this so often. I don't even call the person's name out, but you can probably figure it out. And it went perfect. It went great. Um, and I was thinking to myself, no, that won't work perfect. That won't work great. If you are a dice setter, you're going to make your money when the dice come to you. If you're not making money when the dice come to you, you're not truly a dice setter. When the dice come to me, that's when I can sit there and take $100 and bring it up to 600, just like that. I'm not doing huge bets. I'm only at a $10 table and I'm playing minimum. It's from consistently throwing the dice correctly. So when other people are throwing, I've got to sit there and think to myself, what strategy can I use? For instance, most of you guys know I play at Ellis Island. There was a guy standing there at the craps table, and I wasn't watching how often he would bet. I wasn't watching any of that. He had money in front of him, and he was drinking. And he would not play until the dice came to him, and then he'd play, and then he'd wait until it went around the table until it came back to him. The pit boss said, you need to either play or get out. And he got out. And so I was intrigued because I have done this before. So I had to ask, hey, and there was actually two pit bosses there. I'm not going to name them, but two of them that knew me very well. And I said, now you guys kick that guy out. If I were to do the same thing, would you kick me out from the table? They said no. And I'm like, why not? They said, because we know the way you bet. You're not going to put $5 on the table or $10 on the table minimum and do nothing else. You fill the table up when it becomes your turn. If you only want to wait till your turn, that's fine with us. But with your card, it says the way you bet. And so we will look at your card and we'll sit there and say, that's fine. If he wants to sit there and only roll during his time, that's fine, no matter how crowded the table gets. And I get what they're saying. If the tables are crowded and you have that one guy that's playing one time all the way through the tables, and he's only putting on $5 or $10, would you want that guy or someone who's betting a lot? Well, of course you want the guy who's betting a lot. So when it comes to strategies, when I'm not dice setting, I pay particularly close to what can I do to sit there and at least remain even or actually come up a little bit. So my friend sent me this strategy and he goes, what do you think? Will this work while we're waiting for the dice to come around? And I said, no, this would not work. And I didn't even try it before I sat there and alarm. No, it won't work. I don't know if you guys have ever had a boss that they have this great idea and you've got these other people around you. Yeah, yeah. And you're like, no, that's stupid. And then, you have at least two or three people go, yeah, that's right, that's stupid. I saw this video and I'm like, no, stay far, far away. If you want to do something like that, make sure you have extra money to try out a strategy like this. Or buy yourself a table, get yourself a table, make yourself a table. And so at least you can put these strategies to bed if they're not going to work before you sit there and have hard-earned cash on the table. Again, I'm not downing this person. I want you guys to be aware that some strategies don't work. Most of the strategies I put out there, at least the last ones in this year, I've actually personally done. And they've worked. And when I tried them and they didn't work, I always came back to you and said, you know what? I goofed, and this is how I change it. The strategy I showed you last week, how I turned 200 into 1,000. I did the same thing at where were we? Wild Horse Pass. I sat there and took $100 and I made it into 600, and I went around the whole entire table. So $100 into 600. Plus, I sat there and tipped the dealers. I sit there and tip the dealers all the time. But that's what kind of lifestyle I live, I choose to live, and I want to sit there and show you guys how to do it. And this strategy from this other craps channel is not it. This is a huge losing strategy. And we just shot the strategy, so I can sit there and say this because I already know the outcome, and you guys have yet to see the outcome. But this is not me shooting the dice. This is my wife shooting the dice, and she is just a random thrower this time. She does know how to sit there and dice it, but she was just randomly throwing it, and you will sit there and see. If you had this kind of money on the table and watching it pour out, I mean, you might as well do something else besides sit there and watch it just pour out of the craps table. I will be in Vegas this weekend. It is a VIP high rollers at Ellis Island plus a Halloween party. And it's also going to be the start of the World Series on Friday. Plus, I am also going to be at the O. This will be the third time I saw this show. They're doing it for 25 years. If you're ever in Vegas and you're like, Jeff, what show would you recommend? I recommend only one show. And you won't have a problem. Go to the O. Bellagio, the O. Sit at the very front and sit as close to the middle as possible. I guarantee you, it'll blow your socks off. The odd thing is, I guess because you're quote-unquote the splash section, but the first 5 rows of the O is actually cheaper than the 6 row up in the middle section. You could possibly get sprayed a hair. I don't think we ever were sprayed. Maybe just a little bit of a mist, maybe. But definitely, if you're going to go to Vegas, you're like, Jeff, what show to watch? Watch the O. Fantastic show. Each time I see it, I see something different. And I'm thinking to myself, well, did they add that? Or was I just not paying attention? I don't know. So without further ado, and if you want to get a hold of me, you know what to do. Dicehitters@gmail.com. I'll sit there and give you my my phone number. We'll sit there and meet up, sit there and play craps. That's not a problem. It doesn't have to be Ellis Island, just as long as I got time to do all the stuff I've got to do, and love to do that. But without further ado, here is today's video. All right, guys. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there goes 2,000. $2,000 is what you're supposed to start off with on this strategy. Why so much? I am not really positive about that. But I saw this and I thought, someone tagged me in the post and says, hey, check this out, see what you can do. So we're going to sit there and try it. So the first things first, we're going to put 200 on the don't, and we have nothing here. So whatever happens, happens. We hope for a 2 and a 3, a midnight, no 7, or yo. And we have a 4. We're going to do 96 across, including our point. The caps on those. And again, that's all we do, nothing more. Simple, simple. And we have our random thrower.
So you're hoping that the random roller is going to hit some of these points except for the 4?
Correct.
Okay.
And we have a 4. So we lose our $200 here. We do sit there and win 27 for that. Puck is off. 200 back. on the don't.
So now is all that going to be off?
That's off. And we have a 9. All right, shooter. Same shooter.
And now everything's back on.
Everything's back on. And we have 8. Pay is 21. All right, go ahead. 8 again. Hard 8. Four. Four. Yo. Nothing happens on yo. Nine. And that was the point, so the shooter got their point again. So we lose another $200. We win that one right there. Put our $200 back on there. Okay, let's go. Same shooter. And we have a hard 6. Hard 10. Five. Two. Hard 2. Nothing happens with that one. 5. Three. Nothing happens with 3. Midnight. Nothing happens on midnight.
So if you're on the don't pass line and you get a midnight, that's only for the first roll?
Correct. Before they come out. Point is established. We have a 9. Six. Got a point. We lose our 200 again. But we do get paid Another 200 on board. All right, same shooter, same hot shooter. It's gonna be a 7. Wheelies are 200. Put 200 back on there. $10. Easy, 10. All right, shooter. Here goes a 7. So we do lose all this. But we will sit there and gain 200 back. Let's do some counting. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1,262. So
Loss of 800.
12, 7, 700 something. We lost $700. This was done on another YouTube video on the short table. And for those of you who know this, where this came from, you go, okay, yeah, I got the short table. His demonstration, he won $1,366. As you see, this was a catastrophe. And if you look at the comments are horrendous. Oh, yeah, that's what I do all the time. Oh, yeah, that's how I make all my money. Well, you must be playing at a different table than what I'm playing, because I would not ever play this strategy. Never. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could get away with it a little bit, but no, not when you sit there and lose $700. And that was just with one roller. That was the same roller, and they were not die setting. Be careful of the strategies that you see on YouTube, because that would have been an absolute failure if you tried to replicate that at a casino with a full-size table, especially if I was throwing. That was my wife throwing. Were you dice setting at all, or were you just throwing it?
I was just random.
Okay, so she says it was just random, but that is your outcome. And I hate to sit there and do this to a fellow YouTuber, but I don't want anybody to to make the wrong decision, make the wrong choice, try something that they probably shouldn't be trying. And I've done that before on some of my strategies, and I had to come back the next week and say, guys, don't use it, or I would change it this way. Now, sometimes strategies don't work. And I saw this one, and I was like, there's no possible way this strategy works. And I proved it. This is my first roll. My wife goes, aren't you going to talk about it first? Because most of the time I talk about it, then I shoot it. I said, no, I want to see what this thing does. So I saw what it did, and it did exactly what I thought it would do. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Tell me what your thoughts are on the comment. And no, I'm not going to sit there and say which YouTuber this was. But just be careful out there, guys. If you're not throwing and you have to rely on a random thrower, you have to be careful. Because I make all my money up when I'm throwing. I want to stay floating while everybody else is throwing. So just be careful out there, guys. Tell me what your thoughts are. Thanks, guys.